Isn't that the big question? I've chosen, I've taken inspired action. Now what do I do? Hey there, welcome back to the channel. And I'm really excited about this video today because I'm going to answer one of the most burning questions I get in a lot of my one-on-one sessions and even in my group program. Dede, I love this manifestation thing. I really want to see this work, but everybody got a big old but. So here's the thing. I made my choice. And if they're working with me, it was a clear, concise, certain, convicted choice. So they're very clear on their choice. They know what they've chosen. But the big question always is, now what do I do? Because all manifestation is making a clear choice. You don't have to do techniques. You can just now go about your day. And I know it blows your mind. It blows the conscious mind like, that's way too simple. That's way too easy. That's never going to work. Or there's almost a sense of frustration that it really is that easy and you were made to jump through all these hoops all these years. But all of that's being created right now. What a wonderful topic we have today. But before we get started, just a reminder that I'm Dede. It's so nice to meet you and thank you for coming back. If you could take a moment, like, subscribe, share the channel, that really helps with the audience and the algorithm so that lots of people can get this wonderful information. And if you are also interested in working with me for manifestation and mindset or for nutrition, check the description box below. All of the information is down there. And I will be so excited to see how I can help you enjoy moving through your reality in fulfillment as you cross line, but also anchoring it in so that this is no longer something that you do, it's who you are. So I'm going to give you a real life practical example of what you can do because you're already doing it. You're already manifesting. You've always been doing it. And what really helps a whole lot is a reflection back on when you did do things the old-fashioned way. How did they come about? I'm going to give you a different perspective as to why, even when you do choose, it might be very helpful for you to do things the old-fashioned way until your manifestation arrives. Now, the example I'm going to give is someone who wants to come to me and they want a nutrition plan. So as you know, I'm a certified personal trainer. In addition to being a manifestation coach and a mindset expert, my field of expertise goes back to the early 90s. I'm a trained interrogator and trained investigator, but I also got certified in personal training and certified in nutrition. So let's take this from the perspective of someone who wants to lose 25 pounds. And you come to me and you want me to write you a personalized nutrition program, like literally based on the foods that you like. That's literally what I do. Back in the day, I was a picky eater. So when I was learning how to do all of this stuff, I wanted to use the foods that I already liked. I don't want to force myself to induce a character that likes broccoli when I do not like broccoli. Maybe someday I'll induce that character or that character will naturally show up. But I knew for myself that if I was given a program and brought on there, and I've had some other nutrition coaches, especially in the bodybuilding world, saying, well, if you want to be a bodybuilder, this is what bodybuilders do. They eat broccoli, so you need to eat broccoli, and you're not a legitimate bodybuilder if you're doing anything other than, incorporating this into your nutrition plan. Which I knew right away that I would substitute it for something else, but I didn't even know what to substitute it for. So I wanted to create a program that it wasn't out there, that I could eat whatever I liked eating that would the most conducive to, based on beliefs of the system that I was in initially, that would give me the quickest results. So here, what I'm saying to you is, if you come to me and you say, all right, Dede, I'm a manifester. I want to lose 25 pounds and I want to do it overnight. Can I do it overnight? Yes, you could. Absolutely. However, if that doesn't happen, your mind is showing you that your conscious choice of wanting it to happen versus your subconscious, which has a little bit more energy on it, right? They're in conflict, because when you know you're not in conflict with something, it naturally appears. It's already here. Look around the room. This is what you are naturally in alignment with right now, that your subconscious mind, your consciousness, whatever you want to call it, because the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are a concession. It's just we try to name things and put them in smaller packages so that we can comprehend and understand them. So there is no conscious mind and subconscious mind per se, but we're going to use them for the narrative of this storytelling because it's all you, it's all consciousness. So here you are, this person who is manifesting whole life, because every moment your mind is projecting out, your consciousness is projecting out a 3D rendering based on what it is that it believes should be there, right? And the things that most likely you're going to engage with. So right now, if there's a closet in the room that you're in and the closet door is closed, it doesn't have to render all the things in the closet. But if you go over there and open up the closet, it immediately has to render it based on what it believes that you should be seeing there. And this is what we're doing. We're consciously choosing. We're saying to our subconscious, okay, here's my new taste, and I'd like it now. But the subconscious is built to keep you safe. It's the thing that beats your heart. It's the thing that digests your food. It's the thing that you don't even have to think about driving your car now. Maybe initially you did, but it's the thing that helps you walk without you having to narrate left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. So the conscious mind isn't a narrator. It doesn't need to narrate anything. It is the chooser. Even when echoes and thoughts come in, the conscious mind isn't creating those echoes and thoughts. They're coming from the subconscious of a different version of you. And the conscious mind is aware of what's being offered and then chooses. That's its only job. Once the conscious mind chooses, the subconscious mind will automatically populate the choice. Some of it is very much the same as what's already in the physical 3D reality, so it doesn't have to exert any extra energy for that. But for those new things that are going to be placed there, when it is placed, it wants it to be natural to you so that you don't freak out. Because if you've ever gone into a lucid dream and you get too excited, oh my gosh, I'm actually lucid dreaming, the dream kicks you out. Because it's not the energy of the dream. You're disturbing the dream. And the dream has to hold itself, and this is a daytime dream, it has to hold itself for the level of reality that it is. So if you come in too quickly and you want to make big changes with that, it's going to. Okay, so let's use our example, right? You come to me and you're like, all right, I'm a manifester. I'd like to manifest this overnight, but I've been trying for X amount of time. And the amount of time that I've been trying, I probably could have done some kind of program or system and gotten the results that I wanted. So now I feel like, I'm 3 months, 4 months, 5 months behind. So as you're learning to manifest, I always say, give yourself 3 months for a new normal. And pick 1 or 2 different ways, don't go into 50 different techniques, that you feel that you would enjoy if you had to repeat them every day, that you would enjoy doing. So you're going to come in for this nutrition plan, and I know that we together could manifest it overnight for you. However, if that's not natural to you, and what you're going to see, that time and space, right? Because whenever you hear time, replace it with the word awareness. Whenever you hear the word space or 3D, replace it with the word awareness. Because what doing a nutrition plan over 3 months does, it actually helps you acclimate to embody the version of you that's different than the jump off. So in my world, in the Invincible CEO, we have the jump off you. That's the you that chooses. And that's the you that we look around at the 3D circumstances. They are what they are. We acknowledge them. And I'll explain that in a second. And then we go into the wish fulfilled you, the one who crosses the finish line. And then we go into the wish fulfilled you 3 months later. So we have 3 specific points on our time space awareness whole. You are where you are. This is where you want to be. And this is 3 months after the fact. Okay. Now, what we do with the jump off you is we take probably about 30 different points of awareness. We'll take your weight. We'll do at least 15 different measurements on your body. I'll ask you questions about how you're sleeping, how much water you're drinking, what do you eat every day. And I'll ask all these questions so that I can get a picture of the reality that you're leaving and what it looks like and what that character's identity is. And then we go over to the wish field, the day that you cross the finish line. And we take those same exact points of awareness and we say, now over here, what would you look like? And we go in and we fill in all the blanks. 25 pounds, scale weight different. I'm sleeping, instead of 3 hours in a row, I'm sleeping 5 hours in a row. If you're a mile, it takes you 15 minutes to do a mile walk or run here. It may be 10 minutes over here. So we're kind of setting up these, they're not necessarily goals, because some of them could be logical, but we want them to be a little delusional too. And we're creating the picture of this new identity. And what the 3 months allows, time and space, really is 3 months of awareness, right? Because there's only now. It's just, what are we going to fill the now moment with? You will get a pattern of how you eat. I'm going to give you a new pattern, how you move around with exercise and so forth. And I'm going to break this all down in a moment for you. And then after we see, okay, here's my jump off, and we love our jump off characters because they were so amazing to get us to this point of clarity that we needed something different, that we didn't want to continue repeating the old way of the old identity. And it's almost like this old identity is going to give the baton to the wish fulfilled you. But what's really good at the very start to having these two different versions of yourself is so that when a behavior is coming up, a feeling is coming up, an emotion is coming up, is it this version's or is it this version's, right? Is it the jump off or is it the wish fulfilled? And then we go in, and 3 months after the fact, because once you do a shift, it takes about 3 months for a new normal. So we got the 3 months here and we got the 3 months here. So we're talking about probably 6 months from where we're at. Now, here's the thing that I have found out, that when you do something this way, you're satisfying the conscious mind. It now knows it's going to have a role to play. And it's going to be the one that chooses the meals. It's going to be the one that logs the things down and writes them down, because we're going to be scripting things out. So as long as it knows its job, it doesn't go off course. And when you keep the conscious mind busy when it's not choosing, and it can become the recorder of things, it's not allowing echoes in that don't match what's being done right now. So in my program, we don't do a caloric deficit because at some point you're going to slow down your metabolism, but also a caloric deficit, there's only a certain point where you can go down to where there's no food left to eat, kind of thing. And it really puts you in a box and a hole. And we want to create new patterns. We want to create a lifestyle, and we want to create the experiential understanding and knowing what to do after the 3 months, then for the next 3 months, and then from going on. So if 5 years from now, for some reason, you slipped in awareness and you gained the weight back, you know how to do it. You've done it once. You've done it once, you can do it a million times. It's no big deal. But here's the thing about the food. We're going to sit down and we're going to see, what foods do you like? What foods do you like? And you're going to give me all the list of all the different types of food that you like. And then I'm going to work the magic behind the scenes. And for 12 weeks, for 3 months, I'm going to give you a plan, but I'm only going to give it to you a week at a time. We'll meet once a week, every week, and you'll have things, responsibilities that you're supposed to do, like only once a week under certain conditions, because we want them to be the same every single time. That you'll take your weight, you'll take your measurements, you'll take your pictures, you'll send them to me before we meet on Zoom or in person, and then we'll go over everything. Now, depending on what plan you get, you'll have text access to me. And especially that first month, I call the first month activation, as you're activating the new version of you, it's what can you do in the now moment that is new to you, new behaviors that you're aligning more with your wish fulfilled character than your done deal character. So for example, you have 5 to 6 small meals a day. So that means this wish fulfilled character, he or she always prepares their food ahead of time, which is going to allot time for shopping and making sure you have everything you need, cooking the food, the stuff that needs to be cooked ahead of time. Like when you're asking, what should I be doing? This is the stuff that you'll be doing when you're not eating the food, because it's not just about that you eat and the water that you drink. And I will give you some cardio guidelines and working out guidelines that you'll be doing. But that's not going to take up all, say, 16 hours of your waking day. So if you're eating every 2.5 to 3 hours and you're drinking your water and you'll get your workouts in when you get them in each day, what do you do the rest of the day, right? Isn't that the big question? I've taken inspired action. Now what do I do? Well, think about this. If you were doing this with me, you'd go about the rest of your day. You would go, and if you're working, you'll do your work. If you have kids, you'll spend time with the kids, whatever you normally do, because you don't have to be focused on it 24/7. You just have to be focused in it when the time comes. So every 2.5 to 3 hours, based on the chart and the meals that I gave you, and you get to choose what food goes into each meal, but I give you the guidelines. This is what you do at this time. So this is what the wish fulfilled version does. The old version does not. So as you're moving through time and space and expanding your awareness, you're going to see if you're choosing as the wish fulfilled character would, or if you're going back into the old character. And this is why I believe that even when you do make the clear, concise choice, if you don't have an identity profile for both of your versions, you may think that you're in the wish fulfilled, behaving and moving in inspired action as that version, but really it's the other version. So you'll have 5 or 6 times a day where you know what you're supposed to eat. You'll be keeping track of the water that you're drinking, right? The deep breathing that you're doing and the exercise. But the rest of the day is yours to move about the template however it is that you normally do. And the only time that you have to be aware again of your goal is either when it's time to eat or work out, or if something is offered to you, like, you're at work and all of a sudden someone walks in with freshly made donuts and they're presented to you. Now, no one is strapping you down and trying to force feed you donuts. But that I call that a nexus point, right? It's a point of both worlds are being offered to you. The old world where you eat the donut, or the new world where you don't, right? The identity. And what happens over this 3 months is we are stacking the inspired action and creating a new state of being, so that maybe during month 2, if that same person shows up with the donuts, you may not realize they're there until all of your favorites have been chosen by someone. Ones that are left you don't like, right? So it's almost like your world is already aligned with you. So it may not necessarily stop the donuts from arriving, because somebody there might have a really strong desire for donuts, but you're not faced with it like you were in the first month. And by the 3rd month, if donuts arrived at work, you wouldn't even know they're there. You would be so engaged in what you're doing, or being pulled out of the office or something, your new identity would filter it out very naturally, so that you wouldn't even know, so that you come back to the office and the box is empty, or you just never know they were ever there. It's really powerful stuff. But the most important thing is that to take a moment and define your jump off character. And these are usually for the bigger, more attached things like an SP, or losing weight, or making money. It's almost like a little funnel that you're putting yourself through to remind you what you've chosen, why you've chosen it. I never tell you you can or you can't do anything, but I will ask you, which character do you want to move forward as? The jump off you, or the wish fulfilled you? I was moving in fulfillment, not moving towards fulfillment. That's really powerful. So when you start to change up what you're doing, you're starting to see the hold that the old persona, the old identity has on you, the consciousness, because you're the breath of life that actually animates the consciousness. And the more you become aware, when and I say this to you when we do the jump off, when we get to the crossing the finish line, you're not even going to be able to recognize, not only physically, but mentally, you're going to see how different you think now. And emotionally, like all of the buttons get pushed, that you can see over this 3-month process, you've morphed into this identity. And once you're there, then we take those next 3 months and we anchor it in. So it's activate, align, and anchor. And when you anchor it in, it will take the mind a whole lot in order to ever put you back to where you once were, because we've retired that old identity. So what do you do once you've chosen and you now, all you got to do is choose. But it's so oversimplified to a conscious mind that is used to making things so complicated, because it's not. It's great to have a system, a daily system that you can say many times during your day, this is what the wish fulfilled version of me would be doing. But you have to chart that out where you are. We love our jump off characters, and our wish fulfilled characters, we love them even more. But in order to stay there, we then have to anchor it into the consciousness, right? And that's what I think sometimes people are talking about. The subconscious mind is it impress the subconscious mind. It's not to impress the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind's already impressed, because we couldn't pull out that option if it wasn't. It's really about bringing that conscious mind on board when it knows that there is a system in place, because it likes its system, it likes its logical progressions. When you already start to acknowledge the things that are just happening for you, and guess what? You're manifesting your heart beating. You're manifesting moving your hands without thinking about it. You're manifesting the words that you speak without thinking about it. And it's all instant manifestation. Watching this video right now, and you're having an experience of manifesting watching a video, and you didn't have to do a whole lot because it's natural to you. So what we're trying to do in the manifestation world is taking things that require a lot of effort and make them happen a lot quicker, but that a lot quicker is just as natural to the longer version of it. So as you want this 25 pounds to come off overnight, and we give this 3-month window for you to embody becoming that version of you, and we have so many victories along the way, it is a very subtle mindset shift, identity shift. And you'll see along the way, if there is any tug of war within yourself, it's because you're moving more towards the old character than embodying the new one. Because when you go all in embodying the new one, that wobble, when those donuts show up, even if they're put right in front of you because you're the one who normally would receive them, you don't care. 3D circumstances don't matter. And it's not that you'll never eat donuts ever again, but once you are in this new version of you, and then it's anchored in, they do things very differently than the version of you that would probably scarf down 2 of those donuts without even thinking. And this whole process allows you for the embodiment of a new identity. So what do you do after you've chosen? If it's not a big deal, it should show up very, very quickly. But on those hot topic items like SP and weight loss and money accrual, it's always a really good idea to have something that every day you're little by little starting to embody the new version of you. You've just experienced a whole different world. Is that you are moving and experiencing as fulfillment. Not crossing the finish line is the only fulfillment. But the whole idea of now you're teaching your mind to seek and enjoy the victory. And now it's going to give you more things to be victorious about all day long. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope and I know that you found this video very, very helpful. It's a very practical analogy for you. Until I see you again, happy manifesting and enjoy.